Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today in this video I'm going to do my top 10 best mainstream horror films for the year of 2013. That means any horror film that was released nationwide in the United States, as long as it was released before the date of December 17th of 2013, the day I made this video, will be eligible. Whether it was back in January or, way back in the month of October, it doesn't matter. As long as it was before the date of December 17th, 2013, today, it will be eligible. Now, by mainstream, I mean nationwide. I will have 3 separate videos. One will be for mainstream horror films, this video. There will be another for mainstream films excluding horror films, and there will be another one that I will do that will include independent horror films, video on demand, limited release, and stuff like that. And in that other video, there will be a few films that are not horror films, but I wanted to go ahead and include them because I don't have enough other films that aren't horror to put in a separate video list. And just so you guys know, I actually only have about 9 films on this list. I titled the video Top 10, that way you guys could find it easier, but just so you guys know, there are only actually a top 9, a total of 9 horror films on this list. And my other videos actually did a top 10 random. They were in no particular order. This video is a little different. These 9 films and movies that I'm getting ready to talk about for mainstream horror are actually in order. So let's get to it, shall we? Coming in at the number 9 spot, once again in order of my top 10 mainstream horror films for the year of 2013, starting at the number 9 spot is The Last Exorcism Part 2. This film was produced by Eli Roth, and I really enjoyed it. It was pretty much the sequel to the first one. The first one was a found footage film. The second one was pretty much just, a basic film, shot in the studio way, not found footage at all. And I really enjoyed the second one. I enjoyed it much more than the first one. I had just such a fun time with it. The ending is definitely my favorite part. I do believe I reviewed it, so if you want to check out my review, just go ahead and search in the search bar for my full opinion. Overall, I really enjoyed The Last Exorcism Part 2. Not a number 1, a number 2, a number 3 slot, but definitely, one of the best horror films of the year, and I really enjoyed it. It definitely deserves a slot, mainly because of that ending. It does have some nice, creepy, eerie, and pretty scary elements overall. Like if you've seen some of it, the whole silver statue, that was done very uniquely. And overall, that ending really sold me on the film. I really enjoyed that ending. It had a real nice, shall I say, fun vibe to it. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So, coming in at the number 8 spot is a film produced by a guy by the name of Guillermo del Toro, known for directing films such as Pacific Rim recently, and Hellboy 1 and Hellboy 2, is a film in the name of Mama. Mama comes in the number 8 spot because I really enjoyed the overall concept of the film. The best thing about Mama was the overall atmosphere, and I love that ending a lot too. I won't say what happens, but it had a nice atmosphere, the way it would tell the story, reveal the mystery, who's haunting them. It revealed that mystery in a great way where it allowed you to be scared, not only to be scared with those creepy, scary, and eerie elements in general, not only to be scared, but to also feel sympathy and compassion for those sympathetic characters in general. And that's what I liked about it. It was able to intertwine all those elements in order to give the viewer and audience a satisfying film that I just really enjoyed in general. Coming in at the number 7 spot is a film by the name of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. And here's the film right here, actually. I really enjoyed Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. It was just a great film. It stars Jeremy Renner and this girl whose name escapes me. And I really enjoyed this one. It was just a nice, fun action film. I believe it is done by Tommy Wirkola. I believe he is a foreign director, I believe in Norway. I believe is where he's from. And overall, it was really cool. He did Dead Snow. He's doing the sequel to Dead Snow, Dead Snow 2, Red vs. Dead, I believe. And this is a really cool one. Nowhere near as good as Dead Snow, but it's a nice, fun action film with some nice, good blood. It also stars Famke Jensen, and she's great in this. She's pretty much like the head, the head witch, leader of the witches. And she's actually right there on the back cover, you can see. And overall, I really enjoyed her performance. I enjoyed the characters, the blood. The best thing about this film is obviously the blood and the action. Overall, it's just a fun horror action film, and I couldn't ask much more coming from the director Tommy Wirkola. But once again, that's the number 7 spot, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Coming in at the number 6 spot is actually a reboot film, a film in the name of Texas Chainsaw 3D. Now, obviously, we've had several Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, but they dropped off the massacre and just called it Texas Chainsaw 3D. Now, this didn't get, this got kind of mixed reviews. They said it was kind of a bold move for the franchise because it allowed, I don't want to say too much, but it allowed our character of Leatherface to become sort of an anti-hero instead of the classic villain that he's always been. Now, he still is sort of a villain, but when it comes towards, I don't want to say too much, but when it comes towards that ending, he becomes more of an anti-hero that you almost root for. And I loved that bold take in the movie. It definitely deserves a spot. It's at number 6 on my list of the Texas Chainsaw 3D film. And I think it was really cool. It had some, it had lots of nice, homages to the original, the original Texas Chainsaw film, much more than the reboot had back in 2004 or whenever it came out. In the early 2000s or mid 2000s, whenever the first remake came out. That one had a few, but this one had tons. It had the armadillo shot. It had the whole sound effects in the freezer. It actually started off with raw material footage of the original 70s film directed by Tobe Hooper, and I just liked it a lot. It had those nice homage material to the original, and it was overall just a nice crafted film that was very entertaining to watch. And once again, that's number 6 spot, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Coming in at the number 5 spot is another sequel, a sequel by the name of Insidious Part 2, I believe, or Insidious Chapter 2. And I really liked Insidious Chapter 2. It was really cool. It was a fun film. It was scary. What I liked most about it, you can watch my full review for that, but it built up on the world. I don't want to say too much, but you really get to see this whole, dark world, this whole, ghost world or shadow world or whatever you want to call it. You really get to see that for the good chunk of the last, film. So that's kind of where most of the movie takes place. I also enjoyed the main actor's name escapes me, but I enjoyed his performance, the scenes where he's running around with the axe. I don't say too much, banging through the door and stuff. He's really cool in the film. But overall, I thought Insidious Chapter 2, whatever it's called, I really thought that Insidious 2 was a great film. That a lot of people thrashed on, I thought, for, everyone has their own opinion, but I thought that, the film deserved more, I guess you could say deserved more recognition than it got. And overall, Insidious 2 was just kind of a very scary film that overall built on the world that James Wan, who directed it, now doing the next Fast and Furious 7, I really thought that it was kind of a cool film that